This video is for business leaders who want to be able to use the psychology of influence to increase their sales and marketing results. So this video is based on and inspired by Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, New and Expanded Edition, which was published in May 2021. There was an older edition about 20 years ago, and I have read both. I assure you the new one is way better on a factor, as us science geeks would say, an order of magnitude. In other words, it's about 10 times better. It's not just a little bit better, it's way better. Skip the first one, go straight to the second one. It's got more value, more depth, and he has significantly improved his writing or gotten a far better editor than in the first book. So watch through to the end to get bonus material to learn deeper how you can apply this information, because that's kind of important, but even the first part will get you started. So what we're going to do first is I will go through and I will define each of the 7 levers of influence, and then I will go past them again, a set for a second pass. And in that one, I'll give you some examples of how you can apply it in your own business. So the first one is reciprocation or reciprocity. And that's the first influence. And it essentially means we feel compelled when somebody does us a favor to return the favor. That's the reciprocity part. I do a favor for you, you do a favor for me. The next one is liking, and it actually comes in 2 parts and 3 flavors, the way I'm going to describe it in this video. And the first one is we like people who are like or alike to ourselves. That is, people who are similar to us. And the next one is we like liking people. That is, we feel good when we like people. And of course, we like to be liked. So those are sort of the 3 flavors in 2 categories. The next one is social proof. And that is we look to others, especially when we're not sure how to behave in a situation that's sort of ambiguous. It's like, what should we do? We heard a fire alarm or smelled smoke in the room, but nobody's moving. We look around. We tend to do what those people themselves are doing, which could be good or bad. But we can also use it for marketing influence as well. So the next one is scarcity, which is we tend to value and perceive as more valuable that which is scarce. Whether that scarcity is real, whether that value is real is a separate issue, but we can use scarcity to have our products be perceived as more valuable and therefore charge more for them. I think there's a reason we should do this very ethically, and I won't get into it in this video because there's just not enough time. The next one is loss aversion, which is related to, but absolutely not the same as scarcity. They can be confusing and they seem to overlap, which they do, but they're not the same. Loss aversion is our disproportionate aversion to loss compared to an equal gain. That is, we hate losing things twice as much as we like gaining things. That's the simple version of it. And then the next one is commitment and consistency. That is, if we do different than we say, we feel a pressure, which is usually known as cognitive dissonance. And people perceive us, if they've seen us declare something publicly and doing the opposite, we are perceived as a hypocrite. So commitment and consistency is consistency between our words, behaviors, and whatever kind of actions we do. And then the last one, and this was not in the first book, but is in the second. He basically created this or identified this in the 20 years since the first book. And that is unity. So unity is the 7th and final lever of influence. And it's about creating and or strengthening the connection to people within a group, or what is often known as the in-group. It's like the group you belong to is your in-group, the group you're a member of. So we'll go back now and we'll look at the first one, which is reciprocation and reciprocity. Remember, this is people want to return a favor that's been given to them. So you give a gift, they give you a gift, you feel obligated to give them a gift back. So in this case, what oftentimes happens, especially in the internet, if you're using social media marketing, is you give away something like a free information resource. And in exchange, the people who opt in give you their permission, their email address, and their permission for you to put them on your mailing list so that you can mail them for future offers. To use this in a general sense in your company, make it a habit to reciprocate, or to be the first one to give a gift. So let me say that again, because it's written better than I just said it. Make reciprocation a habit in your marketing. So you want to give people or prospects something of value consistently, but if you want to make it more powerful, don't give it to them all the time. Give it to them frequently on an unexpected schedule, but not all the time. So the next one, oh, sorry, I'm getting out of order here. So the next thing you want to do with that is, because you've given them gifts consistently or frequently, when it comes time for you to give them your CTA or call to action, they are more likely, as a result of reciprocity, to actually take that action, whatever it happens to be. So the next one is liking. And as I said, there's sort of 3 flavors of this. But the first one is people like those who are like them. And how you can apply this in your company is your sales people or your marketing. Within that people intentionally resemble the target market they're going after. So by dressing, speaking, and behaving in similar ways to your prospects or to your target market, that target market will unconsciously like you more. And therefore, because they like you more, they're more inclined to do business with you. And then the next one, as I said, was people like to, and want to be liked. So when we like someone, of course, we feel good. It's like, huh, I like hanging out with them. They make me feel good. And we like to be liked. Everybody likes to be liked. Therefore, I consider this separate from the other one, because it's not about similarity. It's about people giving you indications, or you giving others indications of liking. Because of this, of course, you're more likely to do business with people you like, but also you can give indications of likely. So in your sales, you can say, you know, it's great. I can tell you're a person of discernment, because you're here to listen to this valuable resource, which will help you with your sales and marketing, right? So you're basically telling them, giving them indications or compliments. Now, you should really make that genuine. Again, I'm not going to tell you why that is. I don't have enough time in this episode, but there's good reasons why you should not use fake compliments. The next one, of course, is social proof. This is the third lever, and we look to others in a crowd to see what they're doing to know what we should do when we're not certain what to do. So this is sort of the cool kids are doing it syndrome. It's also why celebrities get paid so much to do celebrity endorsements, because we want to identify with those celebrities, and marketers obviously know that by paying celebrities, people will identify as being more like those celebrities by using that product. It's like, hey, they talk about them and I use them, so now I'm more like my celebrity friend. And of course, like I said, the behavior of the celebrity, which is an influence leader, is then saying, well, I use this product, therefore they're giving you a lead in terms of what behavior you should engage in, which of course is use the product. So in your marketing and sales, you can let prospects know about how many others are using your services or products. And in particular, if you have a famous, well-known, or well-respected company or individuals who are using your product, and you know your prospect or your target market respects them, you advertise that as like, as seen on TV, or we work with SpaceX, or we work with Elon Musk. It's not true in my case, but if I did, I'd certainly be telling you that, because that would be excellent social proof. It's like, well, if Elon Musk works with Tim, well, then he's obviously good at what he does, right? And so the next one is scarcity. Now, scarcity, I like this one because there's 2 different cartels in the world that use this in particular that I want to refer to. One is the International Diamond Cartel, which stores and releases diamonds at a specific rate to keep the perception of scarcity of diamonds and to keep the price of diamonds high. And one you may not have heard of, and it's very Canadian of me to say this, but there is actually maple syrup cartel. I saw a documentary, and the maple syrup cartel in Canada actually stores and warehouses maple syrup and releases it onto the market in such a way to keep the price high. So that's scarcity. In both of those cases, that's false scarcity, and I am personally against false scarcity. I think it's unethical, and when people hear about it, it tends to piss them off, and they're much less likely to use that product or trust that individual thereafter. Okay, so the next one then, but let me give you an example of that though. When Amazon says, only 3 left, buy soon, that's an example of scarcity because there's only 3, so it must be valuable. And you can use this in your business by limiting the quantity of something available and the time your product is available, especially using sales and so forth. But be careful how you do it because it can backfire if you lie and they find out. I'm against lying about scarcity or the loss aversion, which I'm going to talk about. And by the way, the one we just referred to, only 3 left, buy now. Also, it not only includes scarcity, the scarcity lever, but it also includes the loss aversion lever. Remember, loss aversion means we hate losing things more than we like gaining them. In other words, yeah, okay, we've already talked about that. Okay, so in Thinking Fast and Slow, Daniel Kahneman, the Nobel Prize winner and inventor of behavioral economics, showed that we hate losing $100 about as much as we like gaining $200. So again, the example of Amazon would be it. And this is the bonus material. Thank you for watching this far. I hope you've got value. So this makes a lot of sense from an evolutionary standpoint and makes sense. Think of it this way. If you are on the savannah, if you are in the ancient past before we had abundance like we have now, if you lost food, or even worse, the weapons you used to hunt for food, that could spell death for you, your family, and possibly even your whole clan, your whole group. So losing was more likely to kill you than gaining. That's why we hate losing something twice as much as we like gaining it, because it's deep into our evolutionary biology. It was such an advantage that it's been highly retained, and that's why we hate loss so much. So the next one is commitment and consistency. And to get this, or to make use of it, you can ask prospects things like this. Do you want to increase your sales this quarter? Of course, you could fill that in with what's ever relevant to your product. But when they inevitably say yes, because you've structured the question that it would be ridiculous to say no, then when you go to do your CTA again, they feel a certain pressure, a certain obligation to say, well, I did say I want more sales, and this product seems like it'll help me get that, so I should probably buy this. So it will influence. It doesn't control people, but it will nudge them more towards what you want, because that will keep them consistent with the commitment they've already made. Finally is unity. 2 of the most powerful techniques to create unity are synchronous activities of all types. So this could be marching, dancing, reading together in terms like once upon a time there was a giant. I use that in my classroom all the time, by the way. Another one is coordinated activity. So that's any activity where there's a common goal that the group does together. So this would include building something, cooking together, planning and implementing a new initiative at work with your coworkers. And we're right to the end here. So today's video recommendation is Crush It Club 50, the 7 levers of influence. I'll put a link there and in the description. And if you got value from this video, please share the love by sharing the video. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.